Hi guys! I haven't been making videos for a while because I live with a roommate and she's always home. Really awkward making videos in front of people. So I was just like, oh, but I decided to just suck it up. I'm doing it in my room. She's in the other room. If she can hear me talking to myself, I'll just have to get over it. So, we all know that Japan has the best clubbing scene in the world. Believe me, I've checked it out a lot. Today I want to talk about my clubbing experiences. I want to tell you guys about what are good places to go, what are not so good places to go, experiences that I've had at places. I'll show videos and pictures, and it'll give you guys an idea of if you're a clubbing person, then it'll give you a good idea of where to go and what to avoid in Japan. Today I'm going to talk about a bad clubbing experience I had. It was actually my first clubbing experience I ever had in Japan, and it was not good. It's going to be just me talking. I will post some pictures. I don't know if I have any videos from that night, but if I do, I will add them in. This was back in 2009. On my first time I went to Japan with my friend, and our first night out. Before I start this video, I do want to have a little bit of a disclaimer because I know this is going to come up in comments if I don't address it. Knowing YouTube, it'll probably come up anyway, even though I do address it, but might as well do it because it'll come up even more. Okay, so this video deals with racist Japanese. Now I know that if I don't say something right now, I'm gonna get endless comments being like, that Japanese guy in your story was racist, and you defended Japanese people and your scary foreigner on the train as not being racist, so this is blah 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 blah. I know that's gonna come up, and I just want to say, and I hope everybody who listens to this, listen to this part. If you don't listen to anything else in the story, listen to this part. I never said Japanese people are not racist. There are racist people all over the world. I just am saying that in that particular situation of people not sitting next to me on the train is not a racist thing. What I'm about to say in my story and what is going to happen in my story, there is definite, obvious racial badness. It wasn't even towards me, alright? But I will get into that when we get into the story. Let's continue on. So, this happened it was our second day in Japan. So we went shopping in Shibuya, and we went down Sentegai, which is the center street, and we found this really cute little clothing store. They sold secondhand clothes there, and very cheap, really good quality, a lot of really cute stuff. So we were shopping around in there, and inside next to the till they had a little bulletin board. On that bulletin board there were flyers for all these different events that night, and my friend asked the store clerk if she could take them, and she was like, yeah, of course, that's why they're there. So we took a whole bunch, and we saw that there was one for that night, and we were like, awesome, we should definitely go out tonight because it was a Friday night, and why not, right? The flyer was for this place called Club Asia. It looked like some kind of maybe hip-hop event, which isn't really my scene, but it was my friend's scene, so I was like, you know what, why not? How can I complain? I got nothing better to do, like, let's do that. So we went home, we changed, and we headed right back out to Shibuya because the club was actually located in Shibuya. On the flyer, they had this little tiny map in the corner, and I just have to say a little thing about Japanese maps. I don't know if it's just me, but Japanese maps are so unreadable that just, like, I don't even understand how anybody can figure that out. Like, it's like, okay, here's the train station, line, here's Shibuya 109, line, there's your club. And it's like, okay. So you come out of the train station, and oh look, Shibuya 109 is right there. Like, there's no way that you can miss it if you come up the right exit on the train station. So Shibuya 109 is right there. Sweet. And then you go to Shibuya 109, and it's like, line, and then your club, and it's like, okay. Oh wait, there's like 50 different streets that you can go down, and side streets, and back alleys, and all this crazy stuff, and I'm like, what? I don't even think that if I knew what that word was, that I would know where to go. We were so lost. It was really good that we went really, really early. Asked people on the street, like, you know, Club Asia doko desu ka? And they were like, I don't know what you're talking about, crazy lady. And I'm just like, what? Nobody knew where this club was. And then we were getting really, really frustrated because we kept passing like same people all the time, and they were like, you still haven't found the club? And I'm like, no, we can't find this place. Does it exist? Is this fake? Like, what do we do? We're right back to where we were in front of 109, and I'm standing here looking at the map like, my friend is like in front of me asking people, and I'm just getting frustrated, and at this point I'm like, is this even worth it? Should we just go home and try again, you know, try go to a different club tomorrow night? And I was just about to give up, and suddenly I feel somebody behind me. And I know this isn't my friend because she's like right in front of me and I can like see her, so I know she's not standing behind me. And this guy is like there's somebody right there. So I turn around and there's like this Japanese guy standing there, and he's like, oh, are you going to this event? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, so am I. Which, you know, what I found out later is Japanese people usually are not going to where they say they're going if it's the same place you're going. They usually just do that so they can hang out with you. But, you know, we were in desperate need, and I was just like, dude, if you know where this is, like, take us there, please. So he's like, yeah, I'm going there too, I know where that place is, and I was just like, okay. Again, another little disclaimer here. I do not recommend going away with strangers. Obviously, anywhere in the world where you are, especially where I live, I would never ever do that. However, in Japan, it is safe, but you have to be, you know, smart about it. This guy is going to be taking us down busy roads. If he started taking us down alleys or like, hey, come into my creepy truck and I'll drive you to the club. No, don't do that. Be smart, guys. There's a lot of stuff going on in Japan right now, especially. So, you know, be safe, because a lot of people do come up to you and offer their help, and not all of them are really offering help. So be smart, be safe. Okay, back to this. So he takes us down the streets and stuff, and busy streets, lit up streets, whatever. Seems legit, we're going. He takes us to the club. And, you know, honestly, I would never have found this place on my own. No way. It was like, it's down all these different streets and where it's like love hotels everywhere, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that's a good location for clubs. But whatever. So we go, and then there's this big giant sign. It's this big red building, and it says Club Asia in the front. And there's no line or anything outside, which was good. And it was like 10 o'clock, so we were really, we need to show our IDs. Other little thing, side thing again. Oh, so many side things. In Japan, the drinking age is 20 years old. We were 19 at the time. In places that are really foreigner-based, like Roppongi, that have all the clubs, or if you go to like a bar or a pub or like an izakaya or a restaurant, you're generally not going to be asked for ID unless you're quite obviously like 11 years old. So Japan's drinking law isn't really enforced unless you're quite obviously underage. Places like Shibuya or Shinjuku, where it's kind of stricter, they almost do always ask you for IDs for clubs. We showed them our Canadian IDs, and of course they can't read it because it's quite different than Japanese IDs, and for them to probably decipher everything in it would have taken way too long, and so they're just like, oh, alright, go ahead. So I was like, oh, sweet. So once you get in, you pass the bouncers that are outside, and then once you get in, you kind of go upstairs a little bit, and then there's a little booth, and there's another section where there's a security guard and the place where you have to pay. Club Asia is generally really expensive because they charge, or they hold club, or they, what am I looking for? They hold events a lot, so they have like DJs and entertainment, so it's not just like a regular club where you just go and dance to music. It actually has entertainment. It is generally a lot more expensive, so we paid about $30 to get in. I think that is ridiculous to go to go to club. I pay about $5 when I go to the club. And yeah, but we, you know, it took us so long to get there, and it was like, you know, we might as well, we're here, let's just pay it, whatever. So we paid the money, we got our little wristband, and we were able to go in. And then as soon as you pass them, there's stairs that go up and then stairs that go down to the left of you. And we decided to go upstairs. Upstairs there was a DJ booth, and then around the outside of the room there was like little couches or like stool chair thingies that you sit on. There was nobody up there. When we got there, there was a DJ playing, and then there were just like 5 or 6 people sitting on the chairs around, which I was assuming were DJs that were just kind of waiting for their turn to play. I was just like, oh, this is fun. Give me my free drink, please. Like, must drink to make this night bearable right now, because I'm one of those people where if I'm sober in a club, no, I don't have a good time. So yeah, so we're drinking or whatever. We're talking to this guy. He's still hanging around us. He seemed really nice at first. He was quite a bit older. I'd say about 30 years old. His name was Koji, by the way. Not my Koji, but yeah, his name was Koji, and I don't know, I got this kind of weird feeling from him, but it was like, okay, whatever, like, if you were going to this club, like, then, and you were going by yourself, then I'm assuming maybe he had friends that he was meeting there, but he insisted on hanging out with us, which, you know, was fine. Like, if you just want to hang out with us, that's cool. The club did start to pick up a lot. We just did decide to go downstairs later, which is kind of like a center bar and lots of people, and that's where the bathrooms and like lockers and stuff are. I gotta change my position. Ow. So, yeah, so we went down there, we talked to people, made some acquaintances, you know, had lots of fun, drank way too much, good times, back upstairs, filled up, got really, really full around probably 12 o'clock, which is generally the times that the clubs do start getting packed in Japan, because clubs over there don't close until like 5 o'clock, whereas, you know, over here in Canada, clubs close at 2, so everybody gets there around 10, whereas in Japan, you know, 12, 1 o'clock is usually when everybody starts piling into the clubs. Around 12, 1 o'clock, it got really, really busy. We did meet 2 other guys, 2 American guys. Maybe I won't say their names. We'll call them C and D. So, they were Black American guys, and really, really nice guys, like, so much fun to hang out with, and they came to the club a lot, and, you know, we drank and we talked together, and throughout the night, as I was talking to more and more people, Koji, who was still hanging around us, seemed to get kind of like protective, like we were together, and I was like, no, we're not together. You just came with us because you were helping us. And I was kind of getting this really, really weird vibe from him. Since I was like drinking, obviously, and really drunk, I probably made it a lot worse than it was, but I decided to tell our American boys that he was bothering me and he was being creepy and I didn't like it, and I probably was like, this guy is so creepy, oh my god, and I probably made it like way, way more intense than it was supposed to be. But I said it, and they were like, oh, okay, like, we'll watch him or whatever, right? Later on, I was starting to feel kind of like lightheaded, and, you know, I was drinking so much, and it was really, really small in there, and really, really sweaty, and I wore pants. I don't know why I would wear pants to a club, and I was just like, I really need to go outside, and my friend, you know, was talking to C&D, and they were all hanging out, and Koji was like, yeah, I'll go outside with you, and I was like, hey, you know what, company, you know, I'll take whatever I can get, I just want to go outside, get some fresh air. When we're outside, he starts getting even more creepy, and it's like, we're outside, let's just go, you can come with me, we'll go spend the night somewhere, blah, 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 blah. And how at this point I was just like, okay, buddy, it's time for you to go away and for me to go back into the club and be with my friend, and this is done. I try and go back into the club, and the bouncer looks at me and goes, no re-entry. And I'm like, no, you can't do this to me. I'm like, please, you need to let me back in there. My friend is in there. We had one phone, which I had, so I couldn't even call her. I was like, I need to get in there, see my friend. This guy, I'm not with this guy. Of course, I don't know Japanese at this point, so I'm just like, you let me in, you let me in. And he's probably just like, duh, crazy lady. I am really thankful, actually, for Koji for this part, because he did convince the bouncer to let me back inside. I get back inside and I go to the section where you have to pay money to get in, and the guy looks at me and he goes, no re-entry. And I'm like, dude, I just got past him. I will get past you too. Don't make me fight you. So I'm yelling at this guy in English, and they're just not letting me in. The Koji wouldn't even be able to get them to let me in. And I'm just like, come on, please. And at this point, D walks down the stairs, and I'm like, dude, you have to tell me that I'm with you and to let me in, and that I didn't know that there was no re-entry, and because he could speak Japanese. And I'm like, come on, please, let me in. He talks to them and was like, blah blah blah, she's with me, let her in. However, he decided to say, let her in, but don't let him in. Well, if they were going to let me in, they were going to let him in as well. So they let us both in. And Koji was not happy with D's trying to keep him out of the club. When we got back upstairs, shit hit the fan. That's all I can say. There was just this big, like, confrontation of, like, Koji on this side and D on this side, and they were just yelling at each other. And there was, like, a group on this side of people and a group of this side. I don't know if they knew what was going on. I think they just wanted to, like, choose sides. And it was, like, this big, like, people are holding each other back and, like, yelling at each other. And they're like, yeah, come on, brr, brr. And it was just a mess upstairs. And me and my friend were just like, okay, it's time for us to go home now. As that's going on, C, who is still with us, was like, you know, let's just get out of here. I'm gonna get D. We'll leave. We're hungry. Do you want to come eat with us? The train station didn't open for about another hour. It was about 4 o'clock. The train station didn't open for another hour. We're like, you know what? Whatever. We're hungry too. We just want to get out of here. Let's just go. We're leaving with them, and as we leave the club, all of a sudden I just hear yelling behind us. Turn around, and it's Koji, and this guy is like stumbling over, falling on his face drunk, like just crazy, and he's just screaming, come back here, rawr, 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 I'm gonna fight you, and all this stuff. The boys our Americans are just like, let's just forget about it, just keep on walking. So we're walking down the street, and he's not giving up. He's just following us, screaming at us. And then we got back to the main street. I remember because there was this big kind of like pharmacy store, and they were closing for the night, I guess, at 4 o'clock. It's kind of weird now that I think about it, but yeah, they were closing their doors, and they're like packing up their stuff, and then we're standing right outside of this pharmacy, and Koji's right behind us at this point, and he's yelling, and we're just all trying to ignore him, and then he decides to yell very, very, very racist things at our black American friends. And that is when D lost it, and Koji was like right behind us at this point, and I just remember D just making a fist and turning around and just swinging at him. Shirts were ripped, blood was everywhere. I had blood on me, sitting on the ground. They were just going at it, and I was just like, oh. The smart thing that me and my friend should have done was just run or just leave at that point, but no, we stuck around because we're crazy people. And I'm assuming it was probably the people in the pharmacy that called the police, because the police showed up right away, or they were just out on the street and they saw this fight happening. So they came up, and the police were there, and we were all taken away, all like separate things and we were being talked to, and I was just freaking out because I was like, oh great, this is my second day in Japan by myself and I'm gonna have to call my uncle from the police station and be like, can you come get me from jail? Oh, I've heard all these horror stories about foreigners being taken away by police and being held overnight in the police station because they can't understand them and they can't figure out the situation, so they just take them and hold them overnight until they calm down. And I'm like, I really don't want that to be me. Like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have some kind of like record in Japan for like being a crazy person. Oh, it was awful. So I remember that C and D were taken to a separate side, and then I wanted to go with Koji because I was really worried that he was going to twist the story and make it all about the Americans causing the problem, because I knew that the police were probably going to take a Japanese man's word over foreigners, so I wanted to be there and, you know, kind of give my version of the story as well and be like, this is what happened, like, I don't know this guy, I don't know them, but this is what's going on and I just want to go home and can we all just relax? Eventually we were all able to go our separate ways. Nobody went to jail that night, which I'm very, very thankful for. So we were all able to part ways. I don't actually know what happened to Koji at that point. He just kind of disappeared, which was fine with me. So then after we decided the Americans were still with us, and again, the train station was still not open, so we all decided to go get burgers together at Freshness Burger. And, yeah. And that was my adventure at Club Asia. So, I could say that we never went back to Club Asia again. I had never any desire to go back. I did go back one time in my year that I stayed there, and I only went there because a group of people that I knew were going and it was free entry for us, so we were like, okay, I'll go. I will say that that experience, my second time at Club Asia, was definitely not as bad as my first time, but it's still not really my scene. I would never go just on my free will. I would never be like, hey, let's go to Club Asia tonight. No. That being said, I'm sure that bad stuff doesn't always happen like that there. I'm sure maybe a lot of people would really like the place. It's a really cool setup. There's like 3 different areas you can go. Aside from the upstairs and the downstairs, there's also like a stage area where people perform. We never got to that section in our time there because things got too crazy. The second time I was there, I got to go see that, which was kind of cool. Club Asia for me is not a recommendation, just from my experiences, and I would never go back there. But yeah, let me know if you guys liked this kind of video, because I do want to talk more about clubs and tell you guys good places to go and club experiences. And this is a really different kind of video that I'm doing, because usually my videos have footage of being out and about, which I still have and will still do more videos like that, but I'm kind of trying to vlog as well and talk to you guys, so it's something new for me and I hope you guys liked it. So let me know with a thumbs up or a thumbs down and comment. And yeah, I think that's all I gotta say. So